Just making sure we're live. All right, and we are live. Hey guys, welcome back to the Ad Lib Podcast. Today is episode number 88. Just give me 1 second. Franco, in the meantime, can you introduce the podcast for a second?
So, what is the Ad Lib Podcast all about? It's all about movies, all about sometimes video games, and all about TV shows. It's the only film podcast in the island in Malta. And this is all thanks to Andrea's doing, basically. Andrea has been also doing some personal reviews. He's been binging. He's catching up to my list of movies, apparently. I need to actually start catching up with him. And yeah, basically, welcome on the show. I just need to get the chat on to see what's happening.
Yes.
And then start. And yeah, please interact with us. Chat with us. Like, we love interaction. We want your opinion on everything and anything. And yeah, there you go. Welcome on the show.
There's the chat. How's it going, Franco? Good to be back.
Good to be back. I mean, touch wood, so that I don't call it again. Like last time there was a power cut. You know, it's really rare that there's a power cut in Malta. Starting streaming on my own as well on Twitch. You can find me on the Maltese Leftist at Twitch. Please give me a follow. I'm going to be discussing other things apart from movies. So I'm also trying to be discussing politics. I know it's a touchy subject, but I think there's a bit of a vacuum here, especially. I mean, yes, I'm going to have Carl Stanio Navarre as guest. No. No, this is not the Carl Stanio Navarre. This is not the Net and One stuff. You can come on, you can be free, and that's what I'm aiming at, like making a bit more of a political show. But there's also other varieties, like we can talk about movies as well over there, music, anything. So make sure to catch me. I'm going to start streaming at 5 this Wednesday. It's going to be a busy week. I'm going to film my shorts then on Saturday. There was also a bit of a setback yesterday because my lens broke.
Oh no!
Damn it! But luckily, I have a really good client. I have to give him a shout out, please. And if you can put his TikTok online, because it's a really great series he's doing as well. Dark Malta Histories. We have a great collaboration, like the working relationship with him. And luckily we sorted things out, and I'm going to get some new stuff. So thank you. A huge thank you to Mario Cacciatolo, and please do give him a follow, give him a like. And also, we also would like to dedicate this episode to Joe Zanna, who unfortunately cannot join us today. Joe is also doing his own thing, the film reviews. Do check out his channel. He's also keeping a steady pace. Oh my God, I'm talking a lot. So, how are you, Andrea?
Not bad. No, not bad at all. In fact, Joe recently released a review for Speak No Evil, which we will also be talking about today. We also have some other stuff to talk about today. Obviously, as always, there was another episode of Rings of Power, which I will review, but I'll try to keep that as short as possible. Viewership for Rings of Power has gone down drastically, apparently. Still doing well, but not as well as I think Amazon wanted it to do, considering the amount of money they spent. And viewership has gone down quite a bit compared to other original series being released. Like Netflix just gobbles up all the viewership, apparently, from what I can tell. So there'll be that. We will also be talking about a number of trailers. First of all, we're going to talk about a Steven Soderbergh trailer, Presence, which is a very, very simple, very basic trailer, which is what I like. Those are my favorite trailers, when the trailer barely gives you anything. Just a little hint to the tone of the film. That's it. That's all we need. Then
but don't read anything about the movie, because the link you sent me, it spoiled it.
Yeah, basically.
Motherfucker.
Then we have a trailer for Salem's Lot, which is one of Stephen King's most popular and I think, one of his best books with regard to how scary it is. At least that's what I've been told. And so there's a trailer for that as well. We've also got a trailer. This is one I've been really looking forward to The Apprentice, which is, I think, extremely topical considering what happened. Basically, how long was it ago? Yesterday? 2 days ago?
Yesterday.
Basically. Obviously, here we're talking about Donald Trump. This is a film. We'll get into it later on, but it's basically about Trump and his in his youth. And I'm loving the cast. I'm loving the casting for that film.
The cast looks amazing. And by the way, viewers and listeners, just to put your mind at rest, no cats or dogs were harmed in the making of The Apprentice.
I hope not. I hope not. They're eating the cats.
They're eating the dogs.
They're eating the dogs.
Have you seen the memes?
They're eating your pets.
Have you seen the memes?
Yes. I'm loving them. I'm loving them.
Hilarious, man.
I'm loving them. Oh, so funny. The song I put up on my Facebook was perfectly done. Here we go. They've been great. There's also a trailer for Venom, which we'll just have a quick look at because we've discussed, I think, more than enough about Venom, Venom 3, the third Venom. And then with regard to news, basically the big news, right? Which is the Emmys, because last night, for us, obviously, it was last night. There were the Emmys, Emmy 2024. Now, if you might be wondering, wait, but didn't the Emmys already happen this year? There are, in fact, 2 Emmys this year. Yes, indeed, there were. This will cover 2024 and the end of 2023, I believe. And the previous Emmys, in fact, had like season 2 of The Bear, I believe. So basically, 2 Emmys happened in the same year. So we'll be talking about the Emmys. And then, of course, we have the reviews. Franco will be talking about Zvok, the short film festival, which unfortunately I could not attend due to other things I had to attend to that night. And today I managed to run off for 2 hours and go and watch Speak No Evil, which I will be reviewing later on as well. And obviously there's the Rings of Power episode, which I'll review later on as well. So that is the plan for today. In the meantime, Franco, shall we get into what you've been kind of like watching this past week?
So what I watched this past week, I meant to give a short review last Monday, but I couldn't. I managed to catch Cuckoo. I'm hoping now to see it. I hope to see it on the in a cinema, either St. James or somewhere, because I want to reevaluate on a second viewing. Because the first viewing is a bit strange. It's a really strange movie. I'm still kind of on the fence, but I can definitely say it's a great performance by Hunter Schafer. Dan Stevens is also Dan Stevens. I either like him or hate him, but I like his German doctor.
German.
Yeah. Like or Swiss German, because basically this is based in the Alps, and they start having like some strange encounters with some particular creature, and the effects were great. It's like you used to, at first I was like, what happened? Is the streaming broken? But this actually was part of the movie.
Okay.
And I feel it will be a love it or hate it movie as well. Like Trap. Many people are saying, what the hell was this movie? Again, I watched it, I enjoyed it, and I switched off my film reviewer mind, and it was really funny and entertaining. Obviously, it's not by far, it's not a perfect film. Cuckoo, it has potential, and there's some good under themes going underneath the movie, so it's not just a simple horror. Great soundtrack as well. And I also watched Rebel Ridge. I think you reviewed it last time, right?
Yep, indeed.
And that's your first Jeremy Saulnier movie.
Yes. Then I watched another one, Blue Ruin. I've yet to watch The Green Room, which is the one I had, which is the film where I had heard about Jeremy Saulnier, basically, on Red Letter Media.
I love this movie. Again, not perfect. I read your review, 100% agree with what you said. In fact, I didn't even write a review because it was just perfect. You hit the nail on the head. and it is a solid thriller, but it's very enjoyable. Watched it with my father, and we both had fun. And Aaron Pierre is also very charismatic. Don Johnson, there's nothing else to say. He's really, man, I'm really liking his Renaissance Don Johnson. And he was in Noglasani and Knives Out.
Yes.
He was.
Mela.
I
It's
thought-
a different role, different but similar.
Yeah, even here, he's really like I enjoyed watching him basically, and that's the thing. And I finished reading the other book, and I'm reading a book called Scythe. Well, here,
Scythe as in summer.
it's
Oh,
called Scythe by Ryan Falzon, local Maltese artist Ryan Falzon.
Okay.
So far so good. It's very flowing, very flowing, short bursts of chapters, and I look forward to see what's going on. And I also try to imagine. And obviously, I also went to the first edition of Zvog Short Film Festival. Another, I had a good night. I haven't been out for over a month as well, except for celebrating my brother's birthday. And yeah, I mean, I'll comment obviously later on. So any people from Zvog, please say hi on the chat. Welcome aboard. And I hope next time we will be able to like plug we will plug the second edition, because it's a great. It's great. We have now. I think we're spoiled for choice. We have Zvog.
Yes.
We have Video Nasties coming up soon. We have the Comedy Film Festival.
From Richard Starkey.
Exactly. So keep it up, guys. This was but a bit more. I felt Zvog had a bit more of a younger demographic. I felt much of a boomer. In fact, I'm gonna say one thing where basically Miguel Formosa, one of the organizers, mentioned, "Oh, guys, we have the Ellen Ripley Award," and the room just was crickets, and I was like, "Yeah, atta zoomers." So, like the Ellen Ripley Award. Anyway, but more on that later on.
Nice. Okay, so in my case, I watched a few things. I've been doing that. What I recommend, films I recommend, based on what I've watched in the past week. So a few of these I've already spoken about. Basically, these are some of the films I watched this week. Blue Ruin, which Joe did not agree with my rating. I gave it a 3.5.
I don't agree there. Just
that's the same director. That's the same director who did obviously Rebel Ridge. I'll be honest. I got a bit bored at times. That's basically what happened. There are flashes of brilliance. I'll definitely give it that. And the central performance is brilliant. But overall, I was bored at times as well. I would be lying if I wasn't bored at times. Obviously for the structure of the film, the way it's done, and obviously it's very, very, very limited dialogue, which I appreciate and I can admire how stripped down the whole screenplay is. But I would be lying if I didn't find it just a bit boring in some certain moments. And so there's lots of films here. La La Land, I watched. Barry Lyndon, Bicycle Thieves, I watched with my dad. I had a very good time. Carol, which I hadn't watched. I watched with my family. We loved it. We really enjoyed it. Beautiful cinematography. Yes. And the production design was incredible. Really, really, really good production design. I loved the fact that he used the 16mm. You could really tell from the colors. Like when I watched the film, the first thing I did was check what camera was used, and I was like, okay, that's not a surprise, because the colors were so popping in that film. The scenes from the taxis, especially when you've got the taxi windows kind of fogging up, and it's brilliant, like genius.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was inspired by a photographer called the Soul Lighter. And he has he was one of the pioneers of film photography back in the 1950s. And he has these kind of fantastic photographs through foggy windows, basically. And the color is very, very magical, if I'm not mistaken. But if you see the photos of Soul Lighter when he started using color film, and the movie, you see a relationship.
Before Sunrise, which is great, which I really enjoyed. Very romantic film.
I'm sorry, Andrea. I'm just gonna leave you for a bit and come back. I'm just getting some water. Hydrate,
All
guys.
right.
Hydrate.
Yeah. Roma Città Aperta, which I talked about on my personal Facebook. Wings of Desire, which I still have to process. I really still have to process this film. I reviewed it, yes, on Letterboxd, but I loved it. I was confused at times. It's one of those films where, as I watch it, I'm like, man, this really, I really need to rewatch this film, because I think I only grasped like 10% of the film. And reading a little bit about it, I mean, more or less, I think I got the whole concept of, an angel who wants to become a human and wants to experience human emotions and the pleasures of life. And I'm really curious to see what Franco thinks about it. Franco, I'm talking about Wings of Desire.
I haven't. I've seen snippets of it. It's Wim Wenders, right?
Wim Wenders, yes. I watched it with my family, and I was just saying, as I was watching it, I'm like, oh my god, I think I need to rewatch this already. Like, it's a very complex film, like super complex, and the screenplay is not easy to follow. Even just the word choice, the themes are incredibly heavy, but it's a very enjoyable film. I was enjoying it a lot, especially because it's so beautifully shot. The shots which give you the point of view of the angels from the top are like the omniscient point of view are, wow, just incredible, really incredible stuff.
Hot take. I wasn't in the mood of watching that movie, to be honest. I could see how beautiful it looked, but I think I need to be in the mood to say, okay, I want something classical today. Like
You need to be in the mood for something like very philosophical, very heavy themes. It gets also very much into the history of Berlin, which is essential to it all, especially in its imagery and in its visuals. There's a nice little. I haven't watched any episodes, but there's my dad and my mom were like, oh, that's Columbo. Because there's Columbo in the
Peter
film.
Falk.
Of course. Because this I watched with my family as well. Unfortunately, everyone fell asleep except for myself. But everyone was tired, to be fair. Everyone was tired. And it's not an easy film to follow. It's not an easy film to follow at all, Wings of Desire. So that's definitely a film I need to rewatch, but I had a very good time watching it. And Tricienne said the same thing. She was really enjoying it up to the point she watched. So that's definitely a film I want to rewatch to, try to grasp at least maybe in a rewatch 30% of the film, because it's the kind of film where, like, if you watch it 5 times, maybe you'll grasp 50% of it, because it's so complex. I'm not smart enough for that film. Anyways, and obviously Rings of Power, which I will talk about later on. So that was my week. Shall we get into the trailers, Franco? But in the meantime, viewers and listeners, join the discussion. This is a live show, so we will read your chat, basically, our chats. So chat with us, let us know your thoughts, let us know what you've watched in the past week. We love to hear from our viewers and listeners. And with that, we're going to move on to our first trailer of the day, which is, as I said before, a trailer for Steven Soderbergh's upcoming horror film, Presence. And as Collider tells us, a new trailer has been released for Steven Soderbergh's upcoming horror movie, Presence, an inventive spin on the haunted house genre that is expected to blow horror fans away. The movie made its world premiere earlier this year at the Sundance Film Festival, and it was very positively received. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's got an impressive 93%. So very positive reactions at Sundance Film Festival. I'm going to stop there because, as Franco said, it does spoil the premise of the film, which is, I think, essential to the watching of this film, which is very unique as well from what I've read. And this is Neon. And Neon has been doing very well recently.
To be honest, there was another movie that did this, but I'm not gonna say, because then it will heavily spoil it. I'll tell you after the episode. But yeah, you're right about Neon. Actually, if we can put in some more trailers, I saw when I watched Zvok Film Festival, they showed the trailer of The Substance, and the trailer was great. And I'm interested to see the movie. Actually, it's with Demi Moore, the Coralie Fargiat's second outing, and it seems also it seems in the vein of Love Lies Bleeding.
Isn't that the one about a celebrity? I think I had read about it in I don't know if it was Venice Film Festival or Sundance. I think actually it was Sundance. I'm not sure. Sundance, I think it was. Yeah, because I remember reading about it, and again the reactions were really positive for that.
Yeah, and there's also Dennis Quaid in it. Dennis Quaid looks really like menacing. Great cinematography as well, with wide lenses used for close-ups. They really do give a certain ominous sense to the whole.
It's caught on, this wide lenses for close-ups. It's really caught on recently.
Yorgos Lanthimos.
But this looks interesting. I mean, literally, I'm not moving forward because this is literally the whole trailer. This is just it, right? But it does give us an idea to the tone of the film, which is going to be, I think, rather creepy. Again, I'm not going to spoil the concept of the film. If you're really curious about it, you can look it up. But I don't want to spoil the concept for it because I think it's a pity that I had this spoiled, like Franco said. But even just the design of the house, you can tell, shit is going to go down in this house, right?
Does it say what camera did he use? Because Steven Soderbergh recently he was using iPhone to shoot. No, I'm not joking. And there's at least 2 movies he shot on an iPhone.
Okay. No, it does not, but I'm going to look it up really quickly. First person. Oh no. Okay. POV. That's all I'll say.
That's a game. Oh, that's a game.
First person shooter, exactly.
Yeah. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine. No.
No, it doesn't say what camera was used, but generally it comes out after the film. I mean, from what I'm reading here, it's an 85-minute feature film, so it's good to see short films. Man, recently films have been so long. Every film needs to be at 2 hours. It's one of the things I'm going to say about the film I watched today. Speak No Evil. 2 hours. That didn't need to be 2 hours. Did not need to be 2 hours at all.
Welcome to the club.
Yes, I'm slowly, Franco. I've really been like understanding where you are coming from with this whole films do not need to be 2 hours, 20, 30 minutes long. Like,
no, especially when you look at the classics, they are very strong, tight storytelling vehicles. Sometimes they almost clock an hour. They don't need to be like 2 hours of. And you feel it sag. In fact, when certain moments, the movies recently, you feel that there's a sag, and there could have been like easily a 1 hour 30 minutes movie, and it would bump the enjoyability quite a bit if they were more judicious in their editing.
Yes, it's been happening to me a lot recently when I watch like modern movies, like movies released in the past few years. I feel the momentum. I feel the movie losing its momentum, basically.
How long was Brief Encounter?
Brief Encounter was 1 hour 30 minutes,
and it was great. It was so
emotional.
Such
an epic tale of romance, man. Such a beautiful tale, and it did not need to be more. Just 90 minutes. That's it. And it blows my mind. And here we're talking about like David Lean, who's like the master of 3 hour long movies when it's needed, because sometimes a film needs to be 3 hours long. Like I recently watched the Colonel Blimp, Madonna, the Powell film.
Paul Pressburger,
that needed to be long because it's all about like 40 years of one's life, of the Colonel's life.
But
it needed to be long. But you don't feel it.
You don't feel
because stuff is happening constantly. It's all about the screenplay at the end of the day. It's all about the screenplay.
I don't know if you ever seen it. There's a Hello Guys by Keith, by the way. The Substance was screened during the Mediterranean Film Festival area this year. It's quite a wild experience and should definitely be seen with a crowd.
Nice.
Awesome. Thanks, Keith. And welcome, Keith. Please, guys, also chat and tell us what you think about The Substance if you have seen it. I was going to suggest Science Sono. I forgot he has a 4 hour epic. I forgot what's it called. This is a Japanese movie Science on for our movie, and it is you don't feed them. Love Exposure.
Okay.
I want to watch it again actually because Love Exposure, 4 hours, and it's a breeze. It's a total breeze. Like I'm like, this is 4 hours because I still remember the feeling like watching it, and 4 hours like flew by.
Nice. Anyways, let's move on, Franco. We'll just like skim through this next trailer because I think it's probably the least interesting one we have to talk about. But it is a Stephen King adaptation, and I know how popular those can be, especially in Malta. Stephen King is like very big. His books are always big bestsellers here in Malta. This is Salem's Lot. You might have watched. Was it a no? It was a TV miniseries. It's here. You might have watched a TV miniseries for it. Basically, you have a new. We have the upcoming adaptation of one of Stephen King's most iconic novels. Just got an exciting new look. Max has unveiled the first trailer for Salem's Lot, the horror film based on the novel of the same name. Comes from the creators of the Conjuring universe and the producers of It, and has been touted as one of the most anticipated horror films of the year. There's a rather commendable cast. There's Lewis Pullman in this, who I really like.
The son of Bill Pullman.
He was in that series, the
Outer Range.
No, that I hadn't watched. The one which Francesca had written her thesis about.
Lessons in Chemistry.
Lessons in Chemistry. That's the one. Lessons in Chemistry. He was excellent in that. Really good. And obviously he was also in Top Gun Maverick. There is also Bill Camp, who will fill the late Brower's shoes as Matthew Burke. So it's a decent cast. Now, I had a look at the book, and this is just like a quick summary of what the book is about. It's a story involves a writer named Ben Mears, who returns to the town of Jerusalem's Lot, or Salem's Lot for short, in Maine, where he lived from the age of 5 through 9, only to discover something about the residents. Although if you've watched the trailer, you'll know what that something is with regard to the residents of the town. Now, Franco, I don't know if you've watched the trailer, but what do you think about the visuals? I'm a little mixed here.
I mean, it's Stranger Things kind of. It's a Stranger Things kind of visual, basically. Lots of orange and teal as well.
I'm a little mixed. There are some scenes where it looks great, and some scenes where like, really? Does it have to be that dark? Like, does it have to be? I don't know. Like, this is fine. This is fine. This looks fine. But there are some scenes.
Even the sunset scene. The sunset scene looks great, for example.
Yes, the sunset scene was the one I wanted to find. In fact, this one, this scene. This looks great, and the whole scene and what's going on with the lighting, even later on, just like the very orangish lighting, it's great. But there are some scenes where I'm like, really, it looks like a TV made for TV.
Yeah, it is. It is going to be on Max. In fact, it's not going to be on cinema.
Oh yes, so. Exactly. So it is a made for TV film.
Yeah, but again, I like Ripley was made for TV, but it looked fucking beautiful, you know. But it's. I don't understand this sort of. It is kind of bland as a look, and it could have. It could have gone. It's almost like. It's almost like what's it called? Three tone color. If I the way the blue and the yellows, it's like almost there was the duotone and the tritone.
To be fair, though, the scene does look.
The scene looked great. So
looks very promising. This is the scene I was like, okay, yeah, I think I'll watch this, because it amps up the tension, and this is exciting stuff. You want to see this stuff more, right?
There's great there's great action in it. Don't get me wrong. That seems like to be great action. The horror also, I feel like it will mostly rely on jump scares, but there's also another moment where the cross, he was holding a crucifix and it was lighting up, and then you see the guy just going back on the wall. It seemed very practical, like you see him roll into the door. It seemed a very practical effect.
And going through the comments from people who've read the book, many people were saying this looks exactly what I like, the way I imagined the book to be, basically, which is promising, right?
Okay,
which is good to
very
hear.
promising.
So I think I will be watching this. Interesting. It's coming out on Max. Rarely do we get films, original films on Max. I think like the last thing we watched was that the Sydney Sweeney movie, Reality.
Yeah,
It's the last
Reality.
Max film I watched on
Yep.
myself. Moving on to the next film, and this is the one I was most excited to talk about, and this is the Donald Trump film, The Apprentice. Very, very topical. Very, very, very topical. So the first trailer for The Apprentice, the upcoming film chronicling the rise of a young Donald Trump, has officially dropped, starring Sebastian Stan, who has literally, if I didn't read it was Sebastian Stan, there was no way I would have noticed that. As Trump, the film offers a gritty and unflinching look at Trump's early years in the real estate world of 1970s and 80s New York, directed by Ali Abbasi. Ali Abbasi, by the way, did the final 2 episodes of The Last of Us, which we had commented about, Franco. We had said very well directed episodes.
Yeah.
The last 2 episodes of The Last of Us. So that's very promising. And I don't know if you've watched any of his films. My parents watched one of his, The Spider something.
The Spider's Web. Wait, is he Iranian?
No,
Just a second.
no.
Just a second.
Yes, he is. He's Persian. Oh shit, he's Iranian Danish. Yeah, Holy Spider. That's the one.
That's amazing. That's an amazing movie.
Yes, that's the same director.
Please make sure to watch it. That's a great movie.
So that's the director. Anyways, The Apprentice delves into Trump's infamous mentorship with lawyer Roy Cohn, who is played by, I love it, Jeremy Strong, who later on in his succession life has now become a mentor to Trump, basically. And it makes sense, right? Looking at what Trump does, seeing that he gets it from the, Jeremy Strong, right? The guy from Succession. I love it. Great meta there as well, meta stuff, and his cutthroat tactics in the business arena. Yes, I'm gonna just come out right out and say it. I enjoyed everything about this trailer. I love the look they're going for. I love the performances.
Let's not forget Margarita. What's her?
Maria Bakalova.
Maria Bakalova. I mean, it's a great trinity of actors, by the way.
Yeah, this looks super promising. What do you think, Franco?
It looks great. Even it's 4:3, and it's doing what Danny Boyle did with Jobs. I think he's going through the decades. First with 16mm, and then he goes to the 80s with a video camera. I think it's even creative decisions wise, it looks like it's gonna be very, very promising.
This dynamic is what I'm excited for. Like Jeremy Strong and Sebastian Stan, and all the locker room talk. I can imagine there's going to be all the shit talking they're going to do. I mean, as much as I hate the guy, he makes a great character for a film.
No, for sure. I mean, he is a character. Let's say it. And Sebastian Stan is also going strong. Yeah? He's got this one, and he's got another and he's got another movie with the guy from Under the Skin.
Let me look it up. Sebastian Stan. Coming up, he's got The Apprentice, A Different Man.
A different man.
Yeah.
And it's good to see him like breaking out of the Marvel's mantle.
Yes, very much so. This is an actor that I think really is trying to find a role to break out with, and to kind of get past that Marvel stuff now. He's doing lots of indie stuff, lots of independent stuff, and it's great to see. He's a very good actor. And A Different Man, we had commented about the trailer, Franco. We thought it was very promising. Talking about A Different Man, I just watched the Elephant Man, which had me in tears. It reminded me of that. But yes, I think this is promising. I think this is going to be a very controversial film as well. I don't think fans of Trump will enjoy this film. And I can imagine it receiving a lot of a lot of 1 ratings basically on IMDb. But yes, I am looking
you
forward
never
to checking it out.
you never know, because one of the viral songs that went out thought they were like it was a pro-Trump song, you know. So you
We'll
never
see.
know.
But yeah, I mean, fucking hell, man. That's Trump, right?
Yes,
Just not Sebastian Stan.
even the hands as well. He's got the mannerisms on point.
Yes, yes. The look, the way he positions his mouth, it's just him. It's just him. Great stuff, great. I'm really excited to watch that. And we also have another Venom trailer. I mean, we don't really need to comment about it, but just to let our viewers know, there is, yes, a Venom trailer, another Venom trailer, the final Venom trailer. That's coming out on October 25th. I've yet to watch Venom 2. I've yet to watch Venom 2. I have to
Same
fix
here.
that. Have to fix
Same
that.
here, same here.
Franco, I want to talk about the Substance trailer.
Yeah, the Substance. The story is about a fading starlet, basically. She's getting older, and as you know, Hollywood doesn't like old ladies. And she basically gets in touch with someone who's got this drug that makes her look younger. And yeah, as you can see, it seems like a great satire. This is like, look at this shot. It's so good.
Okay, this is Yorgos Lanthimos.
Yeah, there's that touch of Yorgos Lanthimos, and watching it in cinemas, like, okay, you got me. I want to see what the movie is all about.
It
And,
won Best Screenplay.
yeah, in Cannes. Yeah,
Damn. Wow.
like this, and the great scene
Mela
as well.
Cannes was when I had heard about it. That's it. That's the film festival I had heard it about. Even the shot, man, it's beautiful.
And funny enough, speaking of Yorgos Lanthimos, she turns into Margot Qualley as well, as her younger version. So
Nice,
even more. I feel like this is going to be a modern sort of retelling of Jekyll and Hyde.
Okay. Interesting.
Now, what was funny, like there was a couple sitting next to me, and exactly the woman just covered the guy's eye. It was so funny.
Yeah, this looks The Fly as well. Yeah, this looks just like my cup of tea. These kinds of is it a thriller? Is it more of a thriller, horror, body horror?
I think there's a bit of body horror from the looks of it. So we'll see. Dennis Quaid. It is funny because Dennis Quaid from Reagan to do this kind of like this. This is also a great scene.
Mm-hmm.
And Dennis Quaid goes from Reagan to this kind of role. It's interesting to see.
Yeah. Looks very promising. It's coming out in Spazio Creative, Franco.
Yep.
Don't know if I've seen it advertised in any of the other cinemas.
I don't think so. No.
Anyways, so moving on to the topic of the day. By the way, viewers and listeners, let us know your thoughts about all those trailers in the chat or in the comment section below. And if you are enjoying the podcast, please do leave a like. It costs you only a second.
And
subscribe. Please do subscribe as well if you have not done so already. Last video had very good viewership. I was very happy with that. Surprised as well because I was on my own. But I had very, very good viewership. So I'm hoping...
So maybe it's Joe and I that's the problem. So we'll leave you doing.
No, I think it's more the time. Because I think when people see 2 hours, 30 minutes video,
true.
Puts off people a little bit, which is why I'm trying to keep stuff as we complain a lot about screenplays being too bloated, and then we do 2 hour, 30 minute.
You're right. I hope, but it's
hypocritical.
But I hope the viewers are enjoying this. Again,
Indeed.
please chat with us as well. Make it more interactive. And if you're watching this later on, leave a like, comment, and subscribe.
Exactly. We have 9 viewers right now. Hello to all the 9 viewers. And we're going to get into the main topic of the day. Well, one of the 3 main topics of the day, with obviously the Emmys 2024. As you can tell here, major winners at the second Emmy ceremony in the same year included Shogun, Hacks, Baby Reindeer, and The Bear. I'm going to skim through them. We don't have the time to go through all of them, but I'm going to go through the most important ones. Ibn Mosbarash, I think very well deserved for the Bear. From what I've seen from season 3, he's brilliant. He's very, very good. Like he just has become that character, cousin. Jesso.
Oh,
What's the name of?
No, not Carmine.
Not Carmi. Carmi is.
Carmine is the main one. I forgot as well.
Oh, Jesso. Anyways, cousin. Like his character's arc in season 2 was one of the best arcs I've seen recently in a series. Genuinely heartwarming. His episode I forgot what episode 7 or 8, but his episode, you'll know which one I'm talking about. Genuinely had my heart about to explode watching it. Like it was so heartwarming to see his characters, how his character like developed in 2 seasons, but in that one episode especially. And season 3 he's continued. He's not become a perfect person, far from it. He still has his own insecurities, which Ibn Mosbarash portrays beautifully. But I think it's very well deserved. I don't know if you want to add anything about this, Franco.
No, I mean it's very well deserved. I still have to continue the seasons. I haven't, because season 2 got me by surprise, because I got so used to the anxiety-ridden first season and the fast pace that season 2, when it starts, like, okay, this feels different, and I couldn't properly sit down and watch it. It gave me anxiety on the other hand, like where's the upbeat? But I have to sit with it because it's still, apparently this third season people either like it or hate it.
I'm loving it. I haven't watched the whole thing. I
okay.
still have like 2 episodes to go. But because I'm watching it with Christian and trying to find a free hour to watch an episode together is like impossible, because the little time I have left, obviously, we try to do fun stuff together, not just watching television. And usually there's a film I want to watch as well together. So there's that as well. So finding the time to watch episodes is really hard. But from what I've watched so far, I'm really enjoying it. Like I don't get the criticism.
Okay.
I really don't get it. It is, to be fair, it is a bit of a kind of like a season that sits between 2 bigger seasons, if you get what I mean.
Okay.
It focuses a lot on characters, very, very character-driven season, but the character stuff is so brilliantly done. It's so brilliantly done that like it's not as good as season 2, I will say that, but it's still one of the best shows on television, definitely, by far. Beautifully shot, performances are great. This, Franco, you have to explain to me. This, because I don't get this.
I have no idea. And like,
how the fuck did Tadanobu Asano not win for Shogun? Like, his character was genuinely one of the funniest performances I've seen in one of the most serious shows I've seen this year, Shogun. But his character, what was his name, Madonna?
ooh,
Oof. What was his name in Shogun? Oh, his character was so funny. I have to look it up. But genuinely, his character was so funny. But at the same time, like the Yabushika.
Yabushika.
But like the final scene he has with Hiroyuki Sanada blew my mind. Like the dialogue they had together and the performance by both of them just blew my mind. I was like, this is a certain supporting actor winning performance. Like I was 100%. The morning, what's the morning show doing in a like I don't get it.
I have no idea. But also I just noticed that he was in Ichi the Killer. Have you seen Ichi the Killer yet?
No, I have not.
Get ready for it, my lad. If you want something totally out there, that's a great movie, though. It's very
Okay.
so. But a word of warning: you need quite a strong stomach as well.
Oh, okay. All right. No, I like these creepy left field films. I enjoyed them.
Very left field.
Okay.
Very left field.
Lead actor in a comedy series, I think this is very, very well deserved, although I still don't get how The Bear is a comedy, because I don't think I've laughed once in that film.
there was a reason why, because it's like it's more market based, because like if they put him in drama, he had to go against Shogun basically,
Which,
or
yeah, is a losing battle, I think.
so it's a losing battle. There are some slapstick moments in The Bear, especially with that guy, the guy with the mustache and lots of tattoos.
The chef, who's a chef on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah. But you're right. I don't. It's more of a dramedy rather than a comedy.
Yes.
And someone did. I saw a creator on Twitch, Caroline Kwan, did say it's like it's a case for putting a dramedy
Hmm.
series in, because even other ones, like there was also Hacks. Apparently, it's also veers on the, even though it's about a stand-up comedian, there's also some dramatic moments in it.
The thing is, Franco, because then the real comedies, because all right, Bear has some funny moments here and there. I was exaggerating when I said I've never laughed, because I have laughed. But then there are the actual comedies where you're constantly laughing, right, with it.
Yeah.
And when that's coming up versus the Bear, it's like, how can that ever win against the Bear, right? When the
Exactly.
Bear is more of a drama with some elements of comedy in it.
True.
So it's unfair to the real comedies in a way, because it's very hard for them to compete with a serious series like The Bear, especially performance-wise, right? Because Jeremy Allen White his character has so much pathos, so much, which is maybe a little hard to get in a comedy.
No, for sure. I mean, even like What We Do in the Shadows, Reservation Dogs. I still want to watch Reservation Dogs because it's very well received both by audiences and reviewers. Anyway.
Next up, another The Bear winner, Lisa Colon Zayas, who had a lovely speech. I saw her speech. She is so good. My girlfriend Tristian loves her so much. Because I was talking about Ibon Mos Barash's character's dynamic. I loved her dynamic as well. How she developed as a character.
The first season, the development was so good of her.
So good, and really continues well in season 2. And in season 3, she has one of the best episodes of the season so far, from what I've watched. She has a beautiful episode focused, especially on her. It's so beautifully done, man. You can tell how much heart she puts into that performance. She really embodies that character, and again, seeing her speech, I'm so happy for her. I'm really happy for her. So that's another very well deserved win, in my opinion. So far, The Bear basically carrying almost all of them. Do you want to add anything, Franco?
No, there's nothing to add. I mean, it speaks for itself, the series as well.
The Crown with Elizabeth Debicki winning for supporting actress in a drama series.
That's for you.
This is for me, and I would say it's very well deserved. I had done my review for The Crown quite a while ago now. It's like ages ago. And I had said, like, this is the standout performance by far. This performance is what holds the final season of The Crown together, at least the first half of the season, because the first half of the season is focused mostly on Lady Diana, which is obviously Elizabeth Debicki, and then something happens, spoilers, and the second part of the season is focused more around the Queen and her family and their response to that certain thing that happens, right? No spoilers for The Crown. But yes, she completely, like, again, Lady Diana has her character is something, because in all the seasons of The Crown in which she was portrayed, the actors just vanish into that role. I think there's something about that character, about that person, right? Well, she was a person, not just a character written on a screenplay. That role, that just has something. They just vanish into that role. And Elizabeth Debicki just was exactly what I would have imagined Lady Diana to be, like, right from all the videos I've seen of her. Really good stuff. This I can't really comment about because I don't watch Hacks. I can only say I really like the Berry's, character in The Bear, but she didn't have the strongest season, because the season, at least from what I've watched so far, hasn't really focused a lot on her. She has her moments, but hasn't really focused too much on her, to be perfectly honest. I don't think, Franco, you have anything to add here, right?
No. I've heard a lot about Hacks, and they've been saying good things about Hacks. So
Okay.
And again, if anyone has seen Hacks, guys,
Yes.
leave comment and tell us like, no, they're not right. Fight us, basically. Yeah.
Have you watched this, Franco? The Traitors? I don't know what this is.
Traitors, it's basically, some people really said it's great. It's basically sort of Among Us, but in
Okay.
reality show format, if I'm not mistaken. But from what I have, from like some rumors said that it was a very enjoyable reality TV.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Pete with his comment, his chat. The Bear was in consideration for season 2, but since the voting process was happening during season 3, which had a mixed reception, might affect his chances for best comedy series.
Okay. Good
Okay,
to know.
okay.
Interesting.
So this is season 2 of The Bear that they're considering for this.
Most probably, but I think wasn't there also there was the writer's strike this year, right? Or was it last
Yes,
year?
that's why the Emmys were moved forward.
So there's also that consideration as well.
Okay.
That was this year, Madonna. How fast?
Mela. Oh, we're on episode 88.
Mala. Yeah. Speaking
Yes.
of it, no, we're back to the future basically. I loved because I saw a meme about the 88 miles per hour thing, and then I'll let you know.
All right. Okay. Supporting actress in a limited or anthology series, Dakota Fanning in Ripley was very good. I really enjoyed her role. She had a role in which she was like, she knows something's off with Ripley, but she can't really tell what's off. Or she knew something was off with the situation. So she had to showcase a character who knows something is off and is worried, but at the same time doesn't know what is off until she learns what it is. And then she, she does her thing, right? Without spoiling anything. Under the Bridge, I have not checked out. I know that's Lily Gladstone, apparently very good performance. Baby Reindeer, I never got around to watching. I completely forgot about it.
Me neither. Actually.
There was a lot of hype about it. I was very busy when there was a lot of hype about it. And then I never got around to watching it, even though I was always saying myself, yes, I'll check it out. Naomi King was fine in Lessons in Chemistry. I didn't think she was like mind-blowingly good. She was fine. Kelly Reese was very good in True Detective, and I contrast, I thought she was excellent. From the performances I've seen here, I would have given it to Kelly Reese for her role in as much as I did not enjoy the last season of True Detective. I really did not enjoy it at all. I very much enjoyed the performances in that. And in fact, I'm going to comment about another performance a little later on in these awards. I can't comment about Jessica Gunning because I haven't watched her performance in Baby Reindeer, of course. John Oliver, I do quite enjoy John Oliver. Enjoy his videos generally. I enjoy Hasanabi's commentary about them, so I'm happy for this. Last week tonight, taking that. Now, this I think is very well deserved. Steven Zalian taking it for Ripley, by far the best directed series of the whole year, I believe. By far the best directed show. Like its direction and its cinematography and its production design was just mind-blowing. Like this is not a Netflix show. When they say like Ripley, the Netflix series, that's a lie. It's not a Netflix show.
It doesn't show that it's a Netflix show whatsoever.
Not at all. It's the kind of show I'm like, man, I really want the Blu-ray for this because I can imagine the Blu-ray for this.
True.
Will make it look so much better than Netflix's shitty servers. Make it look like with their fucking shitty bitrate. I can only imagine how good it would look on a Blu-ray.
Oof.
And it's very much thanks to Steven Zalian's direction. As I had said in my review, watching it, I felt like I was getting a crash course on cinematography and how to take photographs and how to shoot a scene. Watching it, I was like, okay, this is how you light a scene. Watching it, I was like, okay, this is how you compose a scene. This is where you place your actors. It's so beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. A really nice throwback to like film noir and the classic film noir films. So beautiful. So beautiful.
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah, I'd watched it, Franco. I'd watched the whole thing.
No, not the whole thing, but the few episodes I liked, I genuinely loved that's just how it was looking. It was so great, and you are right. The black and white photography, chef's kiss.
Very much so. And so that is directing for a limited or anthology series. Writing for a comedy series. Again, Hacks we haven't watched, so Franco, we can't really comment about that. I'm surprised the Bear not getting it. Like, how the hell did the Bear not take it? Talk series The Daily Show. We've got Fargo with Lamar Morris taking supporting actor in a limited or anthology series. I have watched The Sympathizer. I thought Robert Downey Jr. was great in that. John Hawkes was fine in True Detective, nothing special. Lewis Pullman, very good in Lessons in Chemistry. But yeah, I can't comment about Lamar Morris because I haven't watched Fargo. Slow Horses. Have you watched Slow Horses, Franco? That was the first season. I really enjoyed it, and then I stopped for some reason.
Joe really like walks his lyrical about this series, and I haven't watched it. And I heard again good things. Even the last season is still going strong. Like all of the seasons on Rotten Tomatoes, both audience and reviewers, it's like over 90.
Man. No, I really enjoyed the first season, and I don't know why I didn't continue watching it.
It's really, and I want to watch it again. Plus Gary Oldman in it.
He's good. He's so fun. Interesting. I've watched everything else apart from Slow Horses because The Crown, obviously, I watched. Fallout, I watched. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I watched, and Shogun, I watched as well. And I enjoyed all of them basically. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I don't know if it deserves, because it was fine. Mr. and Mrs. Smith was a fine show. I don't know if it deserves an Emmy nomination though. The rest definitely well deserved. Fallout, it's great to see Fallout.
It's interesting that Fallout barely took any. I mean, again, the competition was rough. Huh?
This was a very strong year of television. Huh? Just looking at this list, and this, apart from Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which again is fine. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad show at all. Kind of more of a 3.5 out of 5 show for myself. The rest are excellent. Like the rest are all top-notch productions.
No, for sure.
So there's that. Writing for a limited or anthology series, Baby Reindeer, which we haven't watched, so we can't comment about that.
I don't understand the controversy behind this. Like, this series was based on the true life of the character Richard Gant. So obviously it embellishes and it's fictionalized. And the controversy apparently comes out because of the characters. Like, I'm sorry, but if she didn't like speak out and go on Piers Morgan and basically put her foot in her mouth, none of the controversy would have happened, to be honest. Plus the apparently Baby Reindeer as a series goes much beyond them putting her in a bad light, apparently, from what I've heard. Again, no further comment from me. I haven't seen it, but I don't understand the whole controversy, basically. So far.
I think it was that, right? Just what you said, Franco, going on
Piers Morgan.
Going on Piers Morgan, I mean, she shot herself in the foot, basically. And, you know Piers Morgan is not going to make you look good.
No.
He's going to go where the clicks are. He is a content demon.
He's a cloud demon, exactly.
he's just there for the content. And anything which will get him more clips, he will do. And, showcasing her in a bad light is going to get him much more clicks. So, I mean, unfortunately, I have to say it, she doesn't seem like to be the smartest person. And she was taken advantage of. Who obviously took advantage of a very shitty situation. And, all for clout. Anyways, The Bear taking direction for a comedy series. Again, extremely well deserved. Christopher Storer. I'm curious to see which episode this one is. I have a feeling I know which one it is, though, because there's also Rami Youssef as well, who directed an episode for The Bear. The Gentleman, Guy Ritchie, very well directed show. I would say The Gentleman. I enjoyed it very much.
Okay.
The rest are the usuals, right? But Elementary is always there in the nominations. Hacks, and this I don't know, the Miss Pacho. Drama series, I think this was a foregone conclusion for a very long time. the day the first episode of Shogun came out, he's going to win directing for a drama series, right? It's just so too good, too well directed. I would say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I didn't love the script. I did like the direction though for it. I very much liked the direction for it. I thought it was a very well directed show.
No, Hiro Murai is great. Is a great director. Plus, his one of the best music videos to have come out in the last decade was "This Is America" with Childish Gambino. So there you have it.
Yeah. But I mean, Shogun, obviously. Just again, I'm going to repeat it, like the composition of the scenes and that's the scene with Anna Sawai, Sawai, right?
Yeah, she looked she looked amazing in the words, I have to say.
In episode 9, she has a particular scene where she walks out and is faced by a number of soldiers, of guards. That the composition of that scene was out of my dreams. Apart from the fact that she's obviously, like you said, Franco, stunning. That helps as well. Richard Gatt taking lead actor in a limited or anthology series for Baby Reindeer. Andrew Scott, brilliant in Ripley. Lead actress in a limited or anthology series, Jodie Foster, this is what I referred to before when I was talking about performances. I thought Jodie Foster was also brilliant. But the other show I've watched here, I think, had a better performance. And that's Brie Larson in Lessons in Chemistry. I thought Brie Larson in Lessons in Chemistry was excellent.
I was surprised, in fact. Like, again, I haven't seen True Detective Night Country. I of course, Jodie Foster is a very safe choice.
Yes, but it is a rather safe choice.
But from what you were telling me with Brie Larson and Lessons in Chemistry, it's interesting. I mean, because I was expecting Brie Larson to take it myself.
Yeah,
what you told me, especially.
When I had watched it, my prediction was she would win lead actress for Lessons in Chemistry. Tristian also watched Griselda. I haven't watched Griselda. She said Sofia Vergara was excellent in it. But I was very much surprised, even because of the very timid reception that True Detective Night Country got. It wasn't an all-round, like, again, the performances was the one saving grace for it. The writing was horrific. I really disliked the writing for it. And some of the CGI in this season of True Detective was really bad.
TV CGI.
Yeah. Which is shocking because True Detective is a big moneymaker for HBO Max. Don't know what happened there. And anyways, best limited or anthology series goes to Baby Reindeer. I've watched these three, obviously. I personally would have given it to Ripley because I loved Ripley, but again, I haven't watched Baby Reindeer, and from what people have said, it was a great show. Lead actor in a drama series. This was a foregone conclusion. Hiroyuki Sanada defined the brilliance of Shogun. His performance was one for the ages. It's one that I will never forget. One of the best performances I've ever seen in a show, period. One of the best lead performances in a show. His screen presence in Shogun was incredible. Like any time Hiroyuki Sanada was on screen, your eyes were glued to him. Like any gesture he does, any facial expression, such a really complex, multi-layered performance. Small moments where she shows just a little bit of emotion, just like a little touch of emotion, and he hides it again. It's just these small things, just brilliant stuff, really brilliant stuff. And not to say, you watched Fallout. Franco Walton Goggins was
Goggins, yeah,
so good,
very good,
so good. Like such a fun performance, really fun. Idris Elba in Hijack. I watched Hijack. He was so good in that. I'm happy to see Idris Elba getting some attention for Hijack. I wish that show got more attention. As Apple just does not advertise their good stuff. They really need to advertise their stuff more.
I saw a meme with the new what's it called, disclaimer, where basically they said Apple put so much money on doing this series and whatnot, for Netflix to put out that's so much drivel out. Not that Netflix didn't have any good series. We mentioned what's its name, Baby Reindeer and Ripley. But oh my God, as far as class TV, Apple TV have been up there. It's true.
And they're very consistent as well with the
yeah,
quality. Like,
but
even, you remember I had watched that show, Franklin, like that show must have cost so much because just the costumes and the set pieces they have in it are insane.
wasn't it also what's it called, Madonna? You had watched it as well. The chase about the
Manhunt.
Manhunt.
That was another expensive show. Again, same thing. Production design for that was so good. And the costumes, and again, the set pieces, those are very expensive looking shows. And no attention at all. I really, really don't get it. I really don't get it. Even there was another Apple TV show. Oh, Madonna. They have lots. Like, they have so many TV shows on Apple TV, which they never advertise for some reason. I really do not get it.
It's frustrating, frustrating.
Because the thing is, they're going to see very low viewership and not invest more into it when all they need to do is just advertise it more. I don't get it. They have so much good sci-fi stuff as well. They had Monarch, for example.
And Silo.
Silo, for example, very good. I really don't get why they're so scared to advertise it. It's like, and just, you have good stuff. Just talk about it. Masters of the Air, such an expensive production. No one talking about it online. How can the next big World War II show, Masters of the Air, produced by Tom Hanks, by Steven Spielberg, not get massive advertising? And nothing about it. Severance, all this stuff is like the best. Lessons in Chemistry, another one which got very little advertising for it. I really don't get why. They have all this good stuff. For All Mankind, for example. That's one which does have a bit of discourse online, to be fair. Slow Horses.
Yep.
These are all Apple. These are all like top class shows. Do you ever hear people talking about them? The one show they advertise is Ted Lasso. That's the one show they advertise and talk about it. And I love Ted Lasso. I really like Ted Lasso.
Yeah, but it feels like they're playing it safe because.
But they're playing it safe. That's it. They're playing it safe. It's a very safe show to advertise. But all that money you're throwing at all these big shows and you don't advertise them, I don't get it. Anyways, Anna Sawai for Shogun. I think that's again. Just from the first episode, that
goes without saying.
A foregone conclusion because she is the heart of the show. The way she translates you're a fucking shit stain. He compliments your look. Like the way she translates what does she call him? Jesus. I forget so much. Anyways, the way she translates for him is excellent. I hate your fucking shit stained face. I hope you die in a ditch. He hopes you will have a great future and looks forward to meeting you again. Like the way she translates the language is just funny, very witty, but also very smart. And yeah, just a great performance. Best drama series is Shogun. We've described already why. The rest, many well-deserved shows to be there as well nominated. Three Body Problem, Rock was there.
Three Body Problem? Okay. No. It wasn't. It's a solid show. I was actually amazed it didn't have anything like with VFX as far as VFX went. I was surprised it didn't get anything. It's not when if you tell me gun to my head Shogun or Three Body Problem, hands down Shogun. No.
Oh, 100%. I think Shogun here is again a foregone conclusion. By far. I'd say my second favorite then would be probably Fallout with The Crown, both of them together. 4 different very different shows. And again, The Crown and Fallout, like how can I sit down, watch The Crown and then watch Fallout and say which one is the best?
Which one's
they are like the complete opposite. Like I can't tell you if Fallout is better than The Crown. Like I can tell you Shogun and The Crown maybe, but Fallout and The Crown, it's like so different shows. It's very hard to confront them together. Best comedy series goes to Hacks. Haven't watched it, so can't comment about it. And that's it. So those are the shows. Franco, do you want to comment about this, by the way, best comedy series?
No, I mean, again, I have to watch Hacks. I don't know what we do in the shadows ever won anything, because what we do in the shadows is also it's got a strong following.
Yeah. That's one of the few Apple shows which has, good discourse about it on online. One of the more popular shows. So that is the Emmys 2024. Overall, I think we agree with most of the winners here. Very few where I disagree. So I think overall a solid show, solid winners, and I look forward to I look forward to checking out Baby Reindeer, which the Emmys basically reminded me it existed because I had completely forgotten about it. And with that, Franco, shall we move on to Zvok Short Film Festival? Viewers and listeners, let us know what you thought about all these Emmy winners, the winners and the losers of Emmys 2024. Let us know in the chat. And with that, leave a like if you're enjoying the podcast. And if you have not done so already, please do subscribe. Franco is now going to get into Zvok Film Festival. I really don't know what to bring up on the screen.
So maybe the poster. There's a poster that was on the. They or you can put their Instagram page, because they had some photos as well.
Yeah, I'll bring it up. What did you think, Franco, about the show?
So Zvok Film Festival, it was the first edition. They really made it fun from the get-go. So basically, I can say that most of the people organizing it have a theater background. So they did this skit basically in the beginning, where the people are inside. They make the introduction, and suddenly from the projection room comes the voice like, "Yo, where are the movies? You didn't tell me that the people came in." And basically, the people had to watch. had to find the movies, the SD card underneath their seat, basically.
Lalo, there were a lot of films from this.
Yeah, it was quite a long very, because basically they had exactly 163 submissions.
Damn.
From which they have to choose 16, because this was also on Film Freeway. I think if you can keep the lists on, that's great, because I can follow from here instead of going back and forth through the Facebook. So obviously when you have a film festival, the quality varies, but again, much of the movies there were of pretty decent to high quality. So the winners were, I'm not going to focus much on the winners, because mostly the winners were foreign. There was Bear Drone, which was an excellent animated short with lots of heart in it, about a seagull who falls in love with a drone, basically. And this is something I disagreed a bit with the judges. Best direction was Father's Mountains. There were better choices, in my opinion, obviously, than De Gustibus. You know what they say in Latin, De Gustibus Omnia. So maybe people enjoyed this more, because that was it didn't hit as much as Bear Drone did, for example. It was also an animated feature. But screenplay nailed it. Does nothing else to add? Please watch the April Fool's review episode.
Yeah, we've already commented.
Yeah,
and said how much we loved it. So
yeah, not only that, but it's also like when everyone was laughing before it was even shown. There's that. Then we had Nicholas Jackman winning an award for Best Actor for Whitebait. We also
very well deserved.
Yep, we also did comment and review about Whitebait. And finally, Best Actress was Johanna Ringblom from Stalemate. Again, yes and no about it, but that was it. Now I'm not going to review much of the foreign productions, and I'm going to put out this thing. I told Miguel Formosa about this. You might disagree with me, Andrea, I think, there, but I was on the fence about it being open to international productions. But then again, I told him it's a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, I feel that foreign productions have an unfair advantage with the amount of resources and funding and the number of crews and the support that there is behind these movies. But on the other hand, I understood why they decided to open this up to internationally, because when people see other movies, they're like, "Oh, this is what they want."
That's the level.
Exactly,
That's
and
the level.
I want to push it forward. So it's a double-edged sword.
I agree with your second point, basically. That's my point of view with anything and everything I review here in Malta. That we need to put up our stuff against foreign stuff.
But again, like much of these movies were done on little to no budget, especially the local ones.
Yes.
And for example, Bird Zone had the film funding of Film West in Australia. Same with Water Tomb, you know. Where else? Swears where was great. Why there's also the Father's Mountains. It had the support from Korean. So there's the talent over there. So it's a bit. I felt it's a bit unfair in a sense, but
No, it is 100%. It is unfair. That's 100. But films aren't fair. Like this industry is not fair. None of it is fair. Is it fair that Venom gets 200 billion and then the small indie film gets
50 million?
You know what I mean?
No, but
50.
Look. I mean, 50 million long legs. 50 million Malta, mux festa namlu.
You make 500 films.
Exactly.
If not more.
That's what I mean. But that being said, obviously, there were some really particular moments which were. I will say that one of my favorite, and if I had to give an award for best local short film, would be Stain. Excellent sound design. The comment I would say, there was a bit of awkward acting. I don't know if it was the first time for her, but I really wanted to meet Zion Wheeling Gauchi and say well done for the sound design. Tension throughout, great concept. Where basically this woman is trying to remove a stain from the t-shirt, and this stain grows bigger. So great psychological horror. And some people said that they didn't like the resolution, and I'm like, not necessarily, because I understood what Zion was trying to say. So if I don't know if Zion is a guy or a girl. Let's go with they. And then who else? Can you go to the first?
This is the second half, yeah. Oops.
So the first. Oh, no worries.
Yeah, the second half, first half.
So first half, Killer Funny. It was the same comments that I had with. Remember when he had what was it? The Of Which You?
Yes. The local council one, right?
Yeah, the local council one with the comedy shorts. I would have the same exact comments, that basically some jokes were too edgy for the sake of being edgy, because the concept of it was great black humor, where basically it's a serial killer who's trying to catch this victim, and that's already enough. Like you're already towing a good line and finding a balance, and then we go into the stand-up stuff, and the stand-up stuff, because of its edginess. I'm not saying don't be edgy. This is not my thing, but it tends to fall flat. And Killer Funny basically needed to be tighter as much as editing goes, and otherwise it was, again, there were some really good moments where basically he's with the knife, and the partner he's with goes, "Oh, thank you for the knife, you're so nice," and she starts spreading the butter on the Philadelphia on her toast. Obviously, Tiana Formosa, there's great actress. I forgot the main actor's name. Sorry, guys, but the main actor was quite. He really was into the role as well. Again, try as much as possible, try to give more. Take care of the acting as well, guys. So because some there was a bit of and the sound as well. I don't know if there was. Again, understandable, because I saw when I saw the shots, I think they were doing some works in the fucking street in Valletta because the location that they chose was quite close to some works being done. But still, it's really important to make sure that the sound is as clear as possible.
Sound is hard without a bit of money. The sound is very hard without money.
True. But now again, there's the Adobe Podcast, which you can use enough. DaVinci Resolve, if you get a good license, you can now. It's got great AI capabilities to lessen the noises. So, but again, Andrea's right. From the get-go, please get good sound to begin with, and then we have Nailed It, which we saw, Whitebait, which we already reviewed. Next one.
Yes.
So, Minerva,
Son of God.
Son of God.
Lyrical enough about that.
Exactly. Stain, again, great. Like I said, this was one of my favorites. I was really impressed by the sound design. We can go on the next one.
This is it.
No, there was more. No, there was a third. No, there was more.
That's the list, anyways. I have here.
Oh, okay. Well, let me go through the list because Miguel Formosa sent me the list. So there was Killer Funny, Between Places by Lana Berti Spiteri. Lana Berti Spiteri, I don't know if you're hearing this. Your animation was fucking fantastic. Unfortunately, and this was also, I think I would make, there were 4 shorts for me, which were too short. And too short to the point that they had no resolution. This was one of them. It was a great concept where she had a great line when one of the characters, it was so amazingly animated. And if they could have taken, like, left it more in the oven, they would have had a great story. One of the characters goes, I don't believe in God anymore, but sometimes I feel that he's still watching over me. And then it cuts. Basically, the scene starts on the bridge in Marsa. And it shows like the lights, and you see the one logo as well. And the lights, there's the lights and the stars. And one of the characters says that line, and immediately after it cuts back to that same scene, and these lights are eyes, and it was such a great symbolic feature. Just make sure that the resolution is good because at the end I was like, wait, it's finished, and I really wanted more. So again, well done for the animation. Please take care of the story and make sure that you have a good act. Again, don't worry. It will be. It's again. I understand you. This is the TikTok generation where people were expecting like something to be 1 minute and that's it. No, guys, this is a short movie, so you can if you have a good story for 1 minute, do it for 1 minute. But if you have a story to tell in 5 minutes, go for it, guys. Don't be afraid. Explore more. And like I said, this had great potential. This short with animation. So again, well done. What's her name again? Lana Berti Spiteri. And again, I'd love to get in touch with all the filmmakers here. It-toroq kollha blu ta' Miguel Formosa. So Miguel Formosa actually had three submissions, and I'm gonna review them all together. So he had it-toroq kollha blu. All these trees are blue. He had Flush, and he had also Aħna u ta' Madwarna. So out of these 3, my favorite one was Aħna u ta' Madwarna. It was a great drama short, where it's basically we see a son, a father and a daughter, and obviously the daughter has a bit of a strained relationship with her father, and the story revolves around the phone she found on the beach. I'm not gonna reveal the whole crux of it, like the whole twist, because it was quite a gut punch, and I felt it a lot. So the drama was there. And then I think the Flash also had the problem, which I said that it really ended abruptly, and I think, and I told him, I'm not going to spoil it, but I told him that if it would have been made more sense if the second act came before. So basically he switches the first act with the second act. So at least like what he does, what this character does in the second act, like I can say that basically this character like devours everything in the fridge, would make sense then to what happens in the first act, and I think it makes it even more cohesive as much as storytelling, and also for the punchline, basically. Yeah, Bruce was there as well. There was Maxine. There were the usual suspects, basically. And then it Kolla Blue. Great filming. It was beautiful. Some of the I was not convinced. I was really like siding with the female character, basically, because this guy was basically trying to win her over. Again, acting wise was quite good. Take care of the lines, because some of the lines tend to sound unnatural. This is my opinion, but in fact, the short I'm doing, there's no lines of dialogues, because I feel that in Malta we have a tendency to over romanticize our language. There was don't get me wrong, there was a great line, but the delivery has to be very specific in such a way it doesn't sound corny. He had a great line, one of the main character, where he said, "This is like one of the other stories that are not written." You know, and it tispiċċa bħal stejjer oħra, stejjer li ma jinkitbux, which is a great line in itself, but then you have to take care of the delivery so it doesn't sound corny. Again, this was greatly filmed. I really liked the cuts because one of the main characters is a painter, and the cuts onto like the really macro close up of the paint getting mixed and whatnot was it was a very nice touch. And again, obviously, I told him there was a technical problem with regards lighting, because there was flickering, but that's fine. And the sound goes, it was all ADR, and it felt like it.
Like the Italian films from the 50s.
But with the Italian films in the 50s, they are seamless. But for example, you can hear some ambient sounds still. They're mixed. Yes. They're well mixed in, you know. And that's the only thing I would say is like try to make sure that the mixing is better. Otherwise, like I said, as far as filming goes, great filming. So he's got a great idea, a great eye, Miguel. And especially with the detail shots in Flash, I was really impressed with the detail shots and the editing. So keep it up. I'm trying to see if I missed anyone. So Lana Bertispiteri done, Killer Funny done, Miguel Formosa done as well with Flash and Stain. Again, that's it, guys. Keep it up. I'm really looking forward for the second edition of the show. Hopefully, I will also put in mine now as well. And what else? Well done, Miguel Formosa and the rest of the team. I know there was Omar and there was other people. Sorry if I don't remember all the names. There was also a Johan there, not the film commissioner though. But that's it, guys. I look forward, and please do come, all of the participants and also the organizers, please do come to Video Nasties, and let's get that community bigger and stronger.
Good stuff. All right. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it because I had an event that evening, so I couldn't make it to the festival. Moving on, Mela. I've got two things to review. One I'll go through quickly. And one I will also go through quickly because I don't want this episode to be too long.
Okay.
I was planning for it to be 1 hour 30 minutes, but anyways.
We're there. So it's 1 hour 28. So
yeah. So I'm just gonna go through quickly my thoughts on episode 5 of Rings of Power really quickly. It's a much better episode. Oh, nice! Season 2 of Castlevania is coming out. Castlevania Nocturne. That was okay. Not as good as the previous Castlevania show. Anyways, to focus. So episode 5, we're talking about episode 5 here of Rings of Power. It was a much better episode than episode 4, which was one of the worst episodes of the Rings of Power period. Even considering the trash we got in season 1. But episode 5 is a return back to a better show. It's a good focused episode. It focuses on the more interesting storylines. Basically, here I'm talking about obviously the kind of like the relationship that develops between the elves and the dwarves in the region, which me and Joe had commented about previously. We had said we're very much looking forward to seeing it, and it's good to see that kind of a relationship develop between the elves and the dwarves in the region. It's one of the most important parts in the history of Middle Earth. Both of them kind of like succeed together, and there is this mentality from a lot of people who think that the elves and the dwarves were always fought together and never agreed with each other. Whilst when you look at the elves of Eregion and the dwarves of Khazad-dûm, there was always a good friendship between them. A lot of people have this mistaken idea that they were always in conflict. In fact, it's not true. And during this period, the elves and dwarves are very much very, very big friends together, and they had lots of trade together, and they helped each other develop, the beauty and of their civilizations. Seeing Anatar's manipulation is great. Seeing Sauron's manipulation of Celebrimbor is incredible, really good stuff. And obviously this develops then into the story of how the 9 rings for men were made. Very well written. I think it's fantastically done. Charles Edwards is fantastic. Charlie Vickers is fantastic. Their dynamic together is great as Lord Celebrimbor and Sauron. Definitely the highlight of season 2 so far. The Durin storyline. These are the dwarves. Obviously, Durin the Third is the king of the dwarves. Now, there's one line where his son says that his father was never greedy, which is weird because Durin the Third was always greedy, and him receiving the ring didn't suddenly instantly turn him into an incredibly greedy king. He was always greedy. The king the ring just made him a bit more greedy than he was before, because and the way the showrunners Patrick McKay and John DePayne are dealing with the corruption of the dwarven rings is very weird, very different from the originals, because in the books we know that the dwarves are not completely corrupted by the rings as the men are. The rings do bring out some more negative elements even further. As I said, Durin the Third was already a greedy dwarf, and it turned him into an even more greedy dwarf and greedy king. And they delve, as we hear in the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring, the dwarves delve too deeply, and that brought out obviously what's it called, the Balrog of Moria. And so it's weird the way they're dealing with the storyline. The dwarven storyline was actually my favorite storyline, has been my favorite storyline so far, especially in season 1. So I don't like the way this is the direction this is taking. It feels like more like they watched the Lord of the Rings. They saw how Bilbo acted with the ring. And they're like, okay, now Durin will act that way towards the ring. But it's a completely different ring that we're dealing with here. We're dealing with the dwarven rings, not with the one ring, right? It's like, oh, where's my ring? Where's my ring? You can tell they really don't get it. There are some elements of the story which they really don't get. They don't know the Lord. They know the Lord. They don't get it, which is sad. Which is very sad. Because I think they could deal with this storyline much better, because the actors are great, and so far the dwarven storyline was doing very, very well. There's also a very weird scene where Disa, who is the wife of Durin's son, Durin as well, has this crystal ball. The crystal ball rolls into this like side street, and suddenly she ends up in this cavern where she hears a monster from far away. Like, really? No one has ever been here before? Like, this is how they discover this place in Khazad-dûm, which is filled with dwarves. It felt very cheap, a very cheap scene. Moving on to the other storyline, the Numenor storyline. Finally, Al-Pharazôn is being developed as a character, which was much needed. Al-Pharazôn will be essential to the storyline of Numenor and the fall of Numenor. His conflict with Sauron, I'm very much looking forward to that. Finally, we start to understand what makes him tick. The fact that he's worried about dying. Basically, he wants to be eternal, like the elves. He's very jealous of the elves. So we start to see that. Apart from that, I did not like at all what they're do not like at all what they're doing with the Numenor storyline. I like Elendil. I like the way he's written as a character. The rest of it is just a mess. I never feel like the Numenorians are like peak of mankind. They should all be like 8 foot tall, like perfect specimens. None of that here. None of that here. And unfortunately, the one character apart from Elendil who I thought looked most like a Numenorian, he's proud and it died in this episode, so we lose that as well, which is unfortunate. So again, still feels very small in scale, this Numenorian storyline. Nothing really interesting. It focuses on really small stuff, really small scale stuff, when the Numenorian storyline should be focusing on like how men are corruptible and how men get to, can easily be corrupted, and there's epic stuff we can cover here, and instead we're focusing on really small stuff. Well, yeah, overall a decent episode, although I was very critical. I think I still had a good time watching it. But yeah, some storylines I'm not enjoying as much, to be honest. And with that, I'm going to conclude with my review for Speak No Evil. You didn't get to watch it, right, Franco?
No, and I think I'm waiting until I watch it with my father to get a proper thing. I feel that my father will enjoy this. I was reading your review on Letterboxd right now. That's why I was quiet. And I watched the original one. Highly praised the original one. And I saw also Bob's review on Prickly Pears. But okay, I'll let you say yours, Andrea.
Mm-hmm. All right. So more or less, I'm going to say what I said in my review, right? Obviously, those are my thoughts. So like I said in my review, American remakes of foreign films are foreign for America, of course, for us, are always worrying, right? There we have very, very unfortunate memories of certain films, certain American remakes, especially European film. European films have a certain sensitivity to them, have a certain approach to them, have a certain style, which I feel Americans struggle sometimes to achieve, especially because of the whole Hollywood, studio system that they have, where in Europe it's a bit more independent filmmaking. But there are elements of this film which I wasn't the biggest fan of, and you could tell watching it, this is very much an American film in the way it's shot, sometimes, the way the camera moves. This is very much an American film. And I agree with Joe, this is a very American film in its style, in its editing, in its performances. However, I would be lying if I said I did not enjoy this. And if I said that I wasn't constantly into this film. I was constantly, especially because, and I'm going to go straight into it, because of the guy here we can see on our screen, James McAvoy, who gives one of my favorite performances of his. I've seen quite a few films of his. I always enjoy seeing James McAvoy on the screen, and he really does it here. He really holds this film on his two very broad shoulders. The cast, apart from James McAvoy, is Mackenzie Davis, who was also a highlight in this film. Aisling Franciosi, who I loved in The Nightingale. I always like when she pops up in a film. She had a really small role in Twisters. Really small role in Twisters. It was weird why she was in that film for such a small role. Scoot McNairy as well, who was very good in this, very good for his role. So overall, it's a very strong cast, very strong cast, and the kids as well are very good. The kids, especially the boy, what's his name? I wrote his name. Dan
Huff.
Oh man, he has a scene at the end. Best scene of the film, honestly. So good. Really good performance as well. So overall, the cast is very good. The storyline, to keep it as to not spoil it as the trailer does, is that you got this American couple who live in London. They are on holiday in Italy, and they start off with this Danish couple, and it's a nice throwback to the film. And this Danish fellow are like, "Have you tried the ravioli? Oh, we love the ravioli. We had such a good time making ravioli. You should join us tomorrow. We're going to be making gnocchi." And it's such very funny. Anyways, and Paddy and Kiara, who are obviously James McAvoy and Aisling Franciosi, save the American couple from this Danish couple. And they spend some time together. They get to know them, and back in England, obviously this American couple live in London. Back in England, Paddy and Chiara invite Louise and Ben over to their farmhouse. And so after some debating, they decide, yes, this is what we need to kind of relax and spend some time together. And so they set off for this relaxing weekend, right? With James McAvoy, as if you can tell from his face that something is off. And this is a horror film true and true, right? This is a horror film true and true. And James McAvoy is just so good in this film, just brilliant in this film. You can tell he really embodies toxic masculinity in this film. I really don't know if James McAvoy looks like this, like permanently, he constantly training and to have this look, or if it's a look specifically for this film, because it's a very essential part of his character, the physicality of his character, which really brings out even more the toxic masculinity of his character. It's very important for James McAvoy to be imposing and to look strong, physically dominating in this film. I don't think it would have worked just as well if he wasn't that physically dominating. So the physicality is essential to his role. And from the start, right, you as a viewer can tell something is off with James McAvoy's character, Paddy. There are small moments here and there, like I was saying when I was talking about Hiroyuki Sanada's performance. It's the same thing basically here, but it's a little different, of course, in that here he's showing off that he is a psychopath, basically. There are small moments, tiny touches here and there where he slightly lets loose to show who he is and quickly hides it. And he hides it in a different way to the way Hiroyuki Sanada does in Shogun. Here, he's not covering it in silence and in a poker face. Here, he's covering it with his extreme charisma, where he's like, oh, hey, mate, oh, let's go and have some fun, mate. Yeah, that's a good time, mate. There's just a little touch of madness in his eyes. It's really well done, really beautifully done. A great performance. And this is the kind of performance I would like to see nominated for an Oscar. It will never be, because we know Oscar horror films do not get nominated for performances, but I would love to see a performance like this nominated for a best performance. But yeah, James McAvoy is excellent. Such a threatening aura.
Oh, and again, we have to remind our viewers: do not watch the trailer.
Do not watch the trailer. Do not watch the trailer at all. This is what I told you is more than enough for you to know what the film is about. That's it. That's all I'll say. But yes, it's James McAvoy also is a great, and this is something I mentioned in my review. There are a lot of opposites in this film. For example, James McAvoy and Scott McNairy's character Ben. Ben is the opposite of this, incredibly charismatic, very physical person. He's very thin. He's very quiet, very calm, contemplated person who is more of a, I hate using it, but I think it's appropriate for it, beta, more of a beta compared to the alpha personality basically that James McAvoy has. In fact, we see James McAvoy constantly dominating him, even physically, like, hey, come on, mate, and he puts his hand over his shoulder, and you can tell, right, he's an imposing person. Whilst Scott McNairy's character is the opposite of that. And it's the same, and it's the first hour, which I really loved, where we see him kind of like accepting weird stuff that James McAvoy's character is doing, and where you're like, and I empathize with Scott McNairy's character and with and Mackenzie Davis's character, because I'm like, you know what, with someone this charismatic, I'd be like, yeah, he's fun. Yeah, that's a bit weird, but it's fine. It's fun. That's also a little weird. That's a little love, but yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So I really empathized with the American couple. I did enjoy, however, the fact that they did kind of respond to these weird things as well at times. So they're not completely passive characters, and that I liked. And from the way Joe had talked about the Danish version, they kind of they're very, very passive characters in the Danish version, whereas here they are Americans, and we know that Americans do not, they're very outspoken.
USA.
Especially not Scoot McNairy's character, but Mackenzie Davis's character, who is again very different to her husband. Then she's again very outspoken, even with the way she approaches motherhood. And this brings me then to Mackenzie, the opposites in Mackenzie Davis and Aisling Franciosi, where there is a very interesting theme in the film. The film tackles many different themes of motherhood. The way it approaches motherhood is very, very interesting. It's a very, very important theme in this film, motherhood and the approach to dealing with a daughter. And their daughter suffers from anxiety, which is a very important plot point in this. And fatherhood, again, with Scoot McNairy and James McAvoy's character. All important themes in this film. The production design, very essential to bringing out the contrast and these opposites with these characters, looking at the American couple's house and then contrasting it with the British couple's house, complete opposite, right? One is like perfect, sleek, upper class house. The other is like a mess. Lots of clutter, lots of dust. And then as I started the film, I was like, man, this house looks too clean. Like this looks like a set for a film. But then when I got to Paddy and Kiara's, I was like, oh, okay, that's why it was so clean. Because this is the opposite. This is like a mess, dust everywhere, stains everywhere. The paint is off. And I understood then what was going on with the production design. Overall, this is a great psychological examination of both couples and the conflict that develops between these couples. And James McAvoy speaks about this in an interview, and I'm going to conclude with this. Our fear of offending, our fear of being impolite, that is the major theme of this film. If someone is bothering you, tell them they are bothering you. Don't just accept their toxic behavior. Tell them, this shit isn't right. This is not acceptable. And that is the major theme of this film. I think it tackles it beautifully. I think it deals with the issues between both relationships beautifully. Very climactic final scene, which was very satisfying. Great tension throughout. If I had to speak about any negatives, and then I'll get to Keith's comment in a bit. Sorry, Keith, I haven't read your comment. And to conclude, I will say, very solid performances. If I had to talk about any negatives, I would say that sometimes the scenes did not, there was something off with some of the edits in some of the scenes. Like we cut to one couple, then cut to the other couple, and then cut to the other. I'm like, do we really need to cut so many times? It felt a little off at times, some of the editing, and there wasn't this flow throughout in certain conversational scenes, especially. It's too long. It needs to be 10, 15 minutes shorter. In my opinion, I think this is a classic 1 hour, 30-minute film. And it does lose a bit of momentum midway through, where you're like, okay, we get it. We get what is wrong with one couple. We get what is wrong with the other couple. Let's get to it, right? Let's get to the climactic scene now. We don't need more developing of those relationships. We know what's wrong. Let's get to it. And then there's another scene where we see how James McAvoy is crazy. You're like, I'm enjoying James McAvoy's performance, but, can we get to it now? We get it, right? Apart from that, it's a very well-made film. I do recommend it. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. I was debating between a 3.5 and a 4. I think a 3.5 is fair for this film. To get to Keith's comment, I was confident that the American remake would turn out good for the cast, but especially for James Watkins. His impressive directorial debut for Eden Lake is something I highly recommend. I haven't checked out Eden Lake. I will definitely check it out after this film, because this is a very well directed film. Franco, any final thoughts?
Nope. I look forward to check it out with my father. And you should check out the original version and see the differences.
Contrast it.
It's interesting to see the differences.
Definitely,
And
definitely.
the movie that Keith mentioned, Eden Lake, is an early Michael Fassbender vehicle.
Okay.
So it's one of his earliest roles.
Okay, interesting. 2008.
Eden Lake was great. Keith is right. I forgot that the director was the same one as Eden Lake.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I haven't watched a lot of his stuff.
I feel what's bothering me as well, because the added layer of the original was that the couples were not speaking the same language. One was Dutch and the other was Danish.
Okay.
But that's where I stop.
Okay. I'll check it out. It'll be interesting to contrast them then.
It's funny though that you mentioned the Danish couple. I'm wondering if it's the same if it's the same couple that was in the movie before. It would be funny. Like
No one's mentioned that, to be fair. No one's mentioned that.
Alright,
So I doubt it. Because I think it would have been mentioned somewhere. And with that, Franco, I think we can conclude here. Good, solid show. Had a good time as always. Hope you did as well, Franco.
Yep.
Always a good time on the other podcast.
I'm gonna try. I think I need a stream key. I'm gonna try and evolve this and start to switch on my stream. Stream this on my Twitch.
Okay.
So at least, for example, Monday would be movie Monday, and you'd be there, and then and then you can basically say no, I'm not staying for the other stuff. But but I'm trying to make it as varied. Please give me a follow, subscribe to the Twitch, subscribe also to the Ad Lib Podcast, give us a like, and mention us if you know anyone like who's doing like some film festival. Again, we're the only podcast that's doing this thing, and we're not humble bragging here. It is a fact that we are the only one that tries to give as fair and as extensive a review as possible for your own work. Even if you have, like we did with Jonathan Beckman as well, he had something called Maestro, right? What was it called?
Exactly.
So even if you have something which is out of competition and you want us to give you comments or how to improve or whatever, please reach out to Andrea. We're happy to push you forward, guys. We're here to support, not to bash mostly. So we also, by the way, this Friday we have to go watch together Castillo as well.
Yes, we have the tickets for it. Looking forward to it. So next Monday will be a review for Castillo, and I think something else is coming out as well this week. Let me just check really quickly before we conclude.
What else is coming out?
Lee is coming out on the 18th. I don't think I managed to watch it this weekend. I'll probably watch it sometime midweek. And go after work.
I'm not really keen on watching it in cinema, Lee, to be fair. I'd rather watch something more. I started to look for these movies which are like either horror or adventure, and apparently Transformers 1 has been getting great reviews as well.
Yes, it is, but I've not seen anything about it here in Malta. Nothing.
So far.
And then The Substance on the 20th. Wait, The Substance comes out on the 20th.
In Spazio Creative or in...
No, I'm seeing the Coming Soon of Eden.
Okay.
On the 20th, there's The Substance. I need to find some time to watch it, man.
So we can... The Substance, yes, I'm in for it, for example. That feels like a good outing out.
And then, oh my God, Megalopolis on the 27th.
27th?
Yeah.
27th September?
Yes.
Let's go.
So if I have to book tickets for Friday 27, then that's a must watch.
Mela, ping me and I'll send you.
Yes, definitely. When tickets come out for that.
Hey,
so lots of good stuff coming out.
So for the 8 viewers over here, if you want to join us on Friday, let us know as well. Come with us, and make sure that you enjoy Megalopolis as well. Anyway.
Definitely. And with that, thank you so much to our viewers and listeners. And to any future viewers and listeners, because we get lots of views obviously after the live stream as well. Leave comments, please leave comments, leave likes, everything, the whole jam. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Tell us if you enjoyed any of the films we talked about. If you went to Zvok, the Short Film Festival, let us know about your experience. Let us know if you did watch Madonna. Evil.
Speaking of evil.
Let us know if you watched Speaking of Evil. Let us know your thoughts about that film. And let us know if you're looking forward to the upcoming films. The Substance, Lee, we've got Megalopolis coming up as well. Very much looking forward to those. And so there you get a sneak peek to what we'll be talking about in the future episode as well. And with that, Franco, have a good night. Have a good night to all our viewers and listeners. Ciao, ciao, and peace out.